Thank you for being out here. My name is Sanguinetti.
Can't see her.
I'm delighted to be Bruce Rauner's Lieutenant Governor choice. I was out of the box about 10 days ago and had the opportunity of meeting many of you. I'm very excited about being here tonight because McSweeeney, State Rep McSweeeney, as well as Senator Duffy are the guys of change. They're the true reformers along with Bruce Rauner and I. And together, we're going to shake up Springfield and we're going to bring back Illinois. And my message to all of you precinct committeemen out there. I'm a precinct committee woman over in Milton Township. And it is my favorite job. I'm also in local government in the city of Lee as a councilman at large, and that's my favorite too. But I love being a precinct committee woman because that's where I work the floor, that's where I meet my neighbors, and that's the hardest job there is. And so I'm thanking all of you directly because that is the hardest job. And you folks are getting out there and you're getting petitions signed, and thank you very much for that. Only thing I want to say is that these gentlemen are fantastic, and they're the true message of change, and I'm so excited for them, and thank you for having me here tonight to speak to all of you. Have a good night.
Right now, we're very lucky. We have one of the top Republicans in the state of Illinois here tonight. We have our veteran and state comptroller, Judy Baar. Topinka. Judy!
Two really great guys. We will certainly want to see Dave re-elected, and of course Senator Duffy. I think you're just hanging around.
I'm hanging out.
All right. He's just hanging around, which is great. These two are just really good bedrock Republicans. They understand the fiscal problems of the state, which I live with every single day. And I have to tell you, sometimes I feel like an army of one, because our little Democratic majorities just don't get it. And, you know, it's not as though we don't try and get it to them. Like, here we said, with over $7.5 billion worth of bills that have to get paid. So if we have a tax season where it's a little bit better, a little money comes in, that goes for paying bills. It doesn't go into new programs when we can't pay for old programs. And then, on top of it, the easy way out, well, let's borrow. No, quit borrowing, you know? I think everybody in this room gets it. We certainly all get it personally, because that's how we run our homes. And between, you know, Dave and Pat, they're just wonderful folks. They make everything happen. We want to see good government come. We want our representative, our senator, back. I want to see a Republican majority, but they get it. And then we can put the state back on an equal footing, because this is a great state. We ought not to be hanging around like a third world country, like a banana republic. And that's what it is. Now, I'm running again, too. I would hope that you would be there, because our little Democratic friends have decided to put a gal against me. You know, they run in pairs now, fathers and sons, fathers and daughters. Democrats are dynastic. I mean, this for them is a career. For us, it's jobs. We're not here forever. We're just doing the job, getting it done, and we go on our way. They're going to be there forever because it's a career. And it'll go on from mother, father, sister, brother, you know, I mean, the whole family will be in at some point or another. As a committeeman in Cook County, you know, which is one of my favorite jobs, so I tell you, since our redistricting, it has gotten tougher and tougher and tougher. I know in our little town, in Riverside, we can't even run anybody because we're just like the tail end of a dog in Chicago. And it's all been, you know, tangled out. So I want to make sure we have a Republican majority and a Republican governor so that when we do have the next census, we've got Republicans there to draw the map. Okay? Because this map is killing us. And it makes it very difficult to be represented. So with these two guys, you know, that's where we want to be. We want them back. So please, if you will, for the three of us, you know, three musketeers here, if you will, or Larry, Curly, and Moe, I don't know, everyone, however you want to look at us, get us back in there, and I think you will be well pleased. So thank you very much.
Judy's always been a fighter, a very dynamic person, I think we call it. Thank you, Judy. Now I'd like to introduce, talking about dynamic, we have one of the forward-thinking people here tonight who's been talking about good Republican values and conservative values that the state of Illinois needs to learn more about. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dan Proft. Yeah.
It's good to be here to support Dave and his re-election bid. One of the things that's important about Dave and this seat, it's been a problem with the Republican Party to enhance what Judy just spoke about. It's not just Republican majorities we need, it's leadership coming from those Republican majorities. Frankly, it's leadership we need even coming from the super minority status we currently are inflicted with. And Dave is one of those individuals that is representing his district, yes, but he's also looking outside the boundaries of his district to the rest of the state. And that's what is mission critical for the Republican Party, is leadership coming from the General Assembly that has a state perspective without, of course, ignoring your constituents and your local exigent issues. I come tonight, though, a little bit conflicted, I've got to say. I feel a little bit like if Dick Durbin had driven off a cliff in my new Mercedes. There's happiness and then there's sadness. There's the happiness is that the left's policies are failing, right? Of course, we see this at the national level where more people have signed up for a trip to Mars than have signed up for Obamacare. And that's not a joke, those are the actual numbers. Of course, the two are similar. One is a trip to almost certain death, and the other is a trip to Mars. So they're failing at the federal level, and then of course we know the failures at the state level. By the way, just as kind of an aside, it is not just President Obama that is governing by executive order. Pat Quinn, our governor, is doing that as well, kind of the Chicago Democrat model that we exported from Chicago to Springfield and then we scaled to DC. But he's also operating by executive order. A most recent administrative order he signed, given all the pressing financial problems the state faces, was to remove the requirement for applicants for state jobs that they answer the question whether or not they have ever been convicted of a felony. Apparently too high a bar for a lot of people.
Too many politicians.
That's right. That's right. So these are some of the pressing issues that are being handled by the political class as it's currently constituted. And I just want to quickly give you three numbers, and I'll turn it over to Dave to talk about what's happening in Springfield, the fights he's fighting, and where we go from here. But three numbers to me really tell the story of the state of the state. And I think these are numbers that should be shared liberally. It's the only thing that I would suggest we do liberally. One, the first number is 66. 66 is the percentage of children in the state in fourth grade that do not read at the fourth grade level. 66%. So Chicago may have one of the worst public school systems in the Western Hemisphere, and it does. But there are a lot of other suburban school districts that are living off past reputation that they no longer deserve. I'm not saying that it's a problem in Barrington and in Lake County in this district, but I am saying that when you have 2/3 of children in fourth grade who are not reading at fourth grade level in a state of 13 million people, in the global digital economy in which we live, that does not portend well for our future, and it is embracing an injustice. Now we should be the party that rejects injustice. Second number, 3. 3 represents that we have the third highest debt per capita in the country. About $22,000 per every man, woman, and child in the state. If you go to where I live in Chicago, you can multiply that by 5. My understanding from how I was raised was that you leave opportunities to your progeny, not debt burdens. And the debt is all the more repugnant, it is all the more odious because of something that Jimmy John Leotude observed. This is the founder of the Jimmy John Subway restaurant. Right? He observed this before, like so many, he left Illinois for Florida. He said, you know, I've been successful in life, so I have no problem paying my taxes. The problem I have is the money I send to Springfield is squandered. It is not used for what they say it is going to be used for. It is not used to educate children. It is not used to help people that are truly in need. It is used to finance public sector unions that in turn finance the established political class, and we continue to